The Los Angeles Times states 63% of American families are now considered dysfunctional. That means we're the majority. We're normal. It's the people that had the mom, dad, brother, sister, little white picket fence. Those people are the freaks. Normal people terrify me because they haven't had enough problems in their life to know how to handle problems when they come up. If something little happens, they just snap.
Strong storytelling is similar to a persuasive argument. It's recommended you put forward a thesis early on, a theory to be campaigned for and later proven. This requires a battle plan, maintaining, reinforcing, and repeating that theory to build that argument. Pay attention to that thesis and you will see patterns. We can also call that structure or formula. The television show Titus was remarkable in the way it utilized internal structure and formula to tell its story. Starring comedian Christopher Titus, it was based on his stand-up act Norman Rockwell is Bleeding, which in turn was based on his own life. The show's core story comes from Christopher reflecting on his difficult childhood. Every episode dealt with complicated domestic issues, but framed it through an outlandish comedic bend.
Tommy worships my dad because he didn't have to grow up with him. He didn't have to run the gauntlet. A mother will give you knowledge. A father makes you earn knowledge.
Don't do that, sweetheart. It's dangerous.
No, wait. Well, go on. Yeah. Bet you're not going to do that again now, are you?
Every episode could be broken down with a carefully constructed formula. 1. A light bulb is turned on in a sparsely decorated room filmed in black and white. This was referred to as the neutral space by the production. Christopher would introduce the story. This first bit of dialogue could be considered a thesis statement.
Normal people fear the day their parents die. Screwed up people fear the day their parents kill. My mom killed a guy at my wedding, so I can pretty much check that one off.
2. The primary story takes place in one location. Narration from the neutral space introduces flashbacks or gags somewhere else, but the main story is centered on exactly where they are at that moment.
You suck, Titus.
You suck!
Yeah.
3. Because it takes place in one location, the story lasts a few hours at most, if not in real time. The episode might be about going to the emergency room, a dinner at a restaurant, or visiting Christopher's mom at a mental hospital.
Mom!
It's Titus! The door's locked!
The door's locked! She's killed Dad! Take it over! Run!
4. No matter what happens in the main story, the episode would end on Christopher in the neutral space the same way it started. He repeats the first line of the episode with a twist that sums up his thoughts on the subject.
Normal people fear the day their parents die. Screwed up people fear that their parents are gonna live forever!
He turns the light bulb off. The end. No episode discards this formula. Few deviate from it at all. But having certain boxes to work in is often more conducive to creativity than a blank page. Because these steps are a guaranteed part of the episode, the fun begins with the small differences. Think of how many ways you can turn on a light bulb, or turn it off. The show is a 3-camera sitcom, called as such because the format is rehearsed, staged, and filmed using multiple cameras. Traditionally, they have a studio audience with their laughter and reactions heard in the recording. There has been some backlash to the sitcom format and 3-camera setup, the studio audience laughter being seen as informing viewers when to laugh. The simplistic camera style is how it looks and feels, which can't compete visually with works filmed with a single camera. The single camera is what we associate with movies and dramatic television and is a more isolated, immersive experience. The sitcom is based on stage plays and live performances, which emulates a social experience with a different style and rhythm. The show Titus takes maximum advantage of the sitcom format. Remember, Christopher Titus is a stand-up comic.
So it seems that because of every syndrome and disorder we've invented in the last 20 years, the Los Angeles Times reported that 63% of American families are now considered dysfunctional. My God. That means we're the majority. We're normal.
The typical sitcom production schedule only uses a Wednesday or Thursday to record the episode. The studio audience will be present as much as possible for scenes filmed in a studio, but miss out on scenes filmed in other locations. They are unlikely to get the linear order of the episode, missing out on experiencing the entire story. Since Titus kept the majority of the story on one set, they would rehearse throughout the week and perform to the audience on Friday like it was a chamber play. On Wednesday, they would film the neutral space scenes, flashbacks, and other brief gags, showing that footage to the studio audience on Friday in its proper place in the story, allowing them to experience the episode as a complete whole. This often made for some stronger jokes because the audience got to see flashbacks be referenced later on in the main story, and the audience response was bigger for it.
Remember the mailbox?
Yeah.
What?
Titus stole a federal mailbox.
I was drunk. And it was giving me attitude.
The police caught him and took him to jail.
Yeah, Dad left him in there for 2 days. He wouldn't post bail.
But you never did that again, huh?
Using 3 cameras at the same time does prevent the use of more dynamic camera movements. You don't see many close-ups or wide shots, and you rarely, if ever, see all 4 walls of a room. But what matters most is the framing, what you see and what you don't see. A recurring joke is how all the wives and random girlfriends have their heads cut off by the frame.
You must be Christopher.
You must be Sheila.
Sharon.
Hey, it was noisy in the bar. Save that note in case I meet a Sheila.
The lack of close-ups means that the full performance of the actors can be better seen. You're also more likely to capture a happy accident if the camera isn't always moving. Titus ramped up the energy level so that characters are never sitting around talking. More often, they are chasing each other around the set. The neutral space is actually done with a single camera, but the way he talks and interacts with the camera is similar to stand-up comedy, but it allows his thoughts and opinions to be vocalized in a straightforward way. It also acts as a natural buffer to introduce other scenes and gags into the story, which helps to keep up the pacing and the humor. One joke is the use of creative security cameras.
Thought my dad was lazy. Turns out he was just resting up.
The 4th episode explores the circular process of a couple having a fight, breaking up, and reuniting, then fight, break up, and reunite all over again. Without the neutral space, neither come across very sympathetic. The fight escalates from a minor issue into learning of mutual infidelity. But the episode starts with him confessing his insecurities in the neutral space.
14 months into my relationship, I realize it's not an act. That's who she is. She's great. The perfect girl. I don't deserve this kind of happiness. How can I destroy it?
You told that story again. Are you trying to piss me off?
Wow, I thought screwing this up was gonna be a lot harder.
This frames the entire episode as pitiable, self-destructive behavior. The neutral space represents his line of thought, so it parallels the story, having him discover and comment on Aaron's own failings, and their escalating fight turns into a boxing match. The most vulnerable moment of the episode is not in the main story, but shows Christopher bloodied and beaten up, removing his bandages.
It's easy to be in love when you're running through the sprinklers together.
The power of being the narrator helps to develop and reinforce the main thesis of the episode. This offers a special opportunity in the 2nd season when Ken Titus has an episode to be a narrator, and the neutral space changes accordingly.
That was not my fault. When something goes wrong, people blame the parent. Well, that's crap.
Aaron gets a similar chance in the third season.
Marriage is a joy. I can't wait. Look, when you meet the man that you love, you marry him. And when you find the perfect man, you don't look back. Hey, look at him.
With the consistent use of a narrator, keeping the story in one location compresses the action. The characters are forced to confront their choices in that space. In the action movie genre, this would be called the Die Hard. Like Nakatomi Plaza, Titus used exploring the setting to tie with the progression of the story. Small changes become amplified. Just running into the next room feels special. The 3-camera format helps to show this interaction with the location. If the camera is locked down, what enters or exits the frame can be a joke by itself. Elaborate stunt work is included, jumping over furniture, crashing through windows, swinging on harnesses.
You know what my last thought is gonna be before my guts get splattered all over those rocks? I'm gonna die single!
At least you had love.
Oh, shut up, Tommy!
Honey, okay, honey, be still, please.
Fire 2, which is in nearly every episode. Because each episode is in one place, it becomes a character of its own. Crawling around a bridge support or skiing on the edge of a mountain places the fear of falling over the story. An episode on road rage has the characters trapped in a car while a rival with a gun, who we never see, chases them.
And the guy stalks us for 10 miles. I change lanes, he changes lanes. I speed up, he speeds up. I slow down, he slows down. And I'm thinking, this guy is a total copycat. So I pull over to the side of the road to give this whack job a 10-mile psycho buffer. I mean, I could have taken him, but...
Paying attention to those recurring patterns is what creates a stronger bond with the audience. It is not random scribbling, and you know it was deliberate. When you see these themes from episode to episode, you realize the show is teaching you how to follow the story. Consider what other shows may have taught their audience. Strong storytelling is similar to a persuasive argument, and formula doesn't mean formulaic. Titus kept its pattern through every episode, but never felt routine. They made sure to start with a thesis statement and end with a thesis statement, and where it goes from there is the exciting part.
The Los Angeles Times states 63% of American families are now considered dysfunctional. Good. Because that means when Armageddon happens, 37% of this population is going to lose their mind. Oh my God, the world is over! 63%, we're gonna go, hey, there's nobody watching the Lexus dealership.